Welcome to the Merging Life and Money Show. I am Mary Jo Caesar, your host and financial wellness strategist. Imagine walking into a high stake financial meeting, your heart racing, not just from the pressure of the presentation, but from the weight of representing your entire race. This is a reality many minorities face daily in their financial lives. I speak from personal experience, having spent many decades in the C suite in the financial space, a primarily white male dominated industry that remains so even today. My journey has given me a unique perspective on the challenges and opportunities for minorities in finance. Over the past 2 weeks, we have explored critical aspects of financial wellness for minority communities. We began by discussing generational wealth and healing. Then we moved on to breaking barriers in finance and mental health. Today, we continue our special series for National Minority Mental Health Awareness Month by examining the intersection of race, finance, and anxiety in minority communities. As a financial wellness strategist, I help clients take control of their money from the inside out, addressing both the emotional and practical side of financial management. This holistic approach is particularly relevant as we discuss the unique challenges faced by minorities in the financial world. In this episode, we will explore the unique intersection of racial identity, financial pressures, and mental health. We will uncover the hidden costs of being a minority in the financial world. We will discuss strategies for success in a financial system that is not designed for minorities. And we will explore culturally responsive approaches to financial wellness and mental health, empowering you to thrive despite systemic challenges. Welcome to the Merging Life and Money Show, where we continue to talk about the complex realities that minority communities face. Together, we will find pathways to both financial success and emotional well-being, paving the way for true empowerment and healing. Now, let's address our first main point, the unique anxiety loop of race and finance. This connection between racial identity and financial stress creates a cycle that many minorities find themselves caught in, often without fully understanding its impact on their mental and financial well-being. To illustrate this concept, let's refer to the experience of a young Black professional entering a predominantly white corporate environment. As they step into the office each day, they carry not only their personal aspirations, but also the weight of representing their entire racial community. This pressure, often unspoken but deeply felt, sets the stage for a unique form of anxiety that intertwines with every financial decision and interaction. At the heart of this anxiety loop is what researchers call the racial tax, a set of additional costs, both financial and psychological, that minorities often face in various aspects of life. This tax manifests in numerous ways, from high interest rate on loans to inflated property assessments in predominantly minority neighborhoods. An example is the property tax system in many cities. Studies have shown that homes in African American neighborhoods that lost value following the 2008 housing crisis have been slower to recover value than properties in white neighborhoods. Yet, in many cases, property taxes assessments have not kept pace with these changes. The result? Many African American homeowners are paying higher property taxes relative to their home values compared to homeowners in white neighborhoods. This is not just an abstract concept. It translates into real financial strain, sometimes even leading to foreclosures and evictions. However, the racial tax extends beyond just property values. It seeps into every aspect of financial life for many minorities, From higher interest rates on car loans to increased premium on insurance policies, these additional costs add up, creating a significant financial burden over time. This burden, in turn, contributes to the widening wealth gap between white and minority communities. The psychological impact of this racial tax cannot be overstated. It creates a constant state of financial stress and anxiety, particularly in professional settings where financial decisions are made. This is where the concept of stereotype threat come into play. The stereotype threat is a risk of confirming negative stereotypes about one's social group. In financial context, this can manifest as anxiety about being seen as financially incompetent or irresponsible, stereotypes that are often unfairly applied to minority groups. In financial context, this can manifest as anxiety about being seen as financially incompetent or irresponsible, stereotypes that are often unfairly applied to minority groups. Ironically, this anxiety can lead to poor financial decision making, creating a self-fulfilling prophecy that reinforces the very stereotypes individuals are trying to disprove. Research has shown that the stereotype threat can significantly impact financial behavior. In one study, women subjected to stereotype threat in academic and business settings were more loss adverse than both men and women who were not facing the threat of being viewed through the lens of negative stereotypes. Similar effects have been observed with racial stereotypes where the fear of confirming negative racial stereotypes led to more conservative financial decisions. This heightened state of anxiety does not just affect individual financial decisions, it can spill over into broader career choices and professional advancement. Many minorities report feeling pressured to be twice as good to succeed in financial professions, leading to burnout and stress. Moreover, the lack of representation in high-level financial positions can create a sense of isolation and imposter syndrome, further exacerbating anxiety. The anxiety loop is further complicated by systemic barriers within the financial industry itself. For instance, the financial planning profession, which plays a crucial role in helping individuals build wealth, has a significant diversity problem. As of 2021, only 1.5% of certified financial planners were Black. This lack of representation can make it difficult for minority clients to find advisors who understand their unique financial challenges and cultural context. Moreover, the traditional eat what you kill business model, prevalent in many financial firms, can disadvantage minority professionals. This model, where advisors generate their own revenue through commissions, often relies on societal networks to build a client base. Given the historical wealth disparity and segregation of social networks, this model can make it challenging for minority professionals to establish themselves in the industry. These systemic barriers, combined with the constant pressure of stereotype, threat, and the financial strain of racial tax, create a perfect storm of anxiety that can significantly impact financial decision making and long-term wealth building for minority individuals and communities. Breaking this anxiety loop requires a twofold approach. On an individual level, it involves developing strategies to recognize and interrupt race-based financial anxiety. This might include mindfulness practices, seeking support from mentors or therapists who understand these unique challenges, and actively challenging negative self-talk related to racial stereotypes. On a broader level, addressing this anxiety loop requires systemic changes. This includes increasing representation in financial professions, implementing fair lending and assessment practices, and creating more inclusive financial education programs that address the unique challenges faced by minority communities. It also involves recognizing and valuing the unique perspectives and strength that diversity brings to financial decision making. Studies have shown that diverse teams make better decisions and are more innovative, qualities that are crucial in the ever evolving financial landscape. As we continue our discussion, it is essential to remember that while the anxiety loop of race and finance presents significant challenges, it is not insurmountable. By understanding these dynamics, we can begin to develop strategies to overcome them, both on an individual and societal level. In so doing, we can work for a financial system that is truly equitable and inclusive, one that allows all individuals, regardless of race, to build wealth and achieve financial well being. I will add that the journey to breaking this anxiety loop is not just about individual actions, but also about collective efforts to reshape our financial systems and cultural narratives. It requires ongoing education, advocacy, and a commitment to creating spaces where all voices are heard and valued in financial discussions. By addressing both the psychological and systemic aspects of this issue, we can pave the way for a more equitable financial future for all. As we conclude this section, I will say that by understanding the psychology behind race based financial anxiety, we can develop targeted strategies to overcome it. In so doing, we not only improve our individual financial well being, but also contribute to breaking down the systemic barriers that perpetuate these inequities. Now that we have examined the unique anxiety loop of race and finance, let's shift our focus to solutions. Our second main point addresses culturally responsive financial wellness, which can help minority individuals and communities overcome these challenges. As discussed in our previous episode on breaking barriers in finance and mental health, cultural background significantly influences our relationship with money. Today, we will look at how we can leverage cultural strengths and values to create effective financial wellness strategies that address the specific needs of minority communities. Let's examine two key areas where culturally responsive strategies can make a significant impact. I will start with reframing financial goals through a cultural lens. Traditional financial advice often focuses on individual wealth accumulation and retirement planning. However, for many minority cultures, financial success is viewed through a more collective lens. This perspective values family and community well-being alongside personal financial growth. To create truly effective financial strategies for minority communities, we need to reframe financial goals in a way that aligns with cultural values, and this might include incorporating family financial obligations into budgeting and saving plans, developing strategies for building community wealth alongside personal wealth, creating financial plans that honor cultural traditions while promoting long-term financial stability. For example, in many Latino communities, the concept of familismo emphasizes strong family ties and mutual support. A culturally responsive financial plan for someone from this background might include strategies for supporting extended family members while still building personal savings. This could involve setting up a dedicated family support fund as part of the monthly budget, or exploring group insurance options that cover extended family members. Similarly, in many Asian cultures, there is a strong emphasis on filial piety and caring for aging parents. A financial plan for individuals from these backgrounds might include provisions for elder care alongside traditional retirement savings. This could involve researching long-term care insurance options or setting up a family care saving account, also extended family support, fictive kinship, collective responsibility, intergenerational households, and flexible family roles are key aspects of this culture value in Black communities. This could involve setting up a family support fund and exploring group insurance options for extended families, as well as strategies for building generational wealth, incorporating financial education and considering communal investment opportunities. By reframing financial goals in this way, we can create authentic and achievable plans rather than imposing a foreign concept of financial success. This approach also helps to reduce the internal conflict many minority individuals feel between their cultural values and their financial aspirations. The other key area identified is culturally specific stress management techniques. Financial stress can take a significant toll on mental health, particularly when compounded by racial stresses. To address this, we need stress management techniques that resonate with minority cultures and address the unique pressures they face. Many minority cultures have rich mindfulness and stress management traditions that can be adapted for financial wellness. For example, mindfulness practices rooted in Eastern philosophies can be applied to money management. This might involve mindful spending exercises or meditation focused on cultivating a healthy relationship with money. African and Caribbean cultures often have strong storytelling traditions. These can be leveraged to create financial narratives that empower rather than limit. For instance, reframing the story of one's financial journey from struggle to resilience and growth. Many indigenous cultures have holistic wellness practices that view financial health as part of overall life balance. This perspective can inform a more integrated approach to financial wellness that considers physical, emotional, and spiritual well being alongside financial health. Incorporating these culturally rooted practices into financial wellness strategies can make them more relatable and effective for minorities. It also helps to validate and preserve cultural traditions while addressing modern financial challenges. Here is an example of how this might work in practice. Imagine a financial wellness program for Native American communities. Instead of focusing solely on budgeting and saving, this program might incorporate traditional talking circles as a way to discuss financial challenges and solutions. It could use the medicine wheel concept to explore how financial health relates to physical, emotional, and spiritual well being. The program might also include storytelling sessions where elders share traditional wisdom about resource management and community support, connecting these ideas to modern financial concepts. So, how do we go about implementing culturally responsive strategies? While these culturally responsive strategies hold great promise, implementing them effectively requires careful consideration and ongoing community engagement. Here are some key steps for putting these into practice. Community consultation. Before implementing any financial wellness program, it is crucial to consult with community members to understand their specific needs, values, and challenges. This might involve focus groups, surveys, or community meetings. Another one is cultural competency training. Financial professionals working within minority communities should undergo cultural competency training. This helps them understand the cultural context of financial behavior and communicate effectively with community members. Partnerships with cultural organizations. Collaborating with existing cultural organizations can provide valuable insights and help build trust within the community. Flexible program design. Financial wellness programs should be flexible enough to adapt to different cultural contexts. This might mean offering materials in multiple languages, providing childcare during financial education session, or scheduling programs around cultural and religious observances. Ongoing evaluation and adjustment. Regularly assess the effectiveness of financial wellness programs and be willing to adjust strategies based on community feedback and outcomes. And lastly, empowering community leaders. Identify and train community members to become financial wellness advocates. This creates a sustainable model for ongoing financial education and support within the community. Let us not forget that while culturally responsive financial wellness strategies offer many benefits, there are also challenges to consider. And here are five of them. Balancing cultural values with financial best practices. Sometimes cultural financial practices may conflict with conventional financial advice. As a result, finding a balance that respects cultural values while promoting financial growth can be challenging. Avoiding stereotypes. While cultural responsiveness is important, it is critical to avoid stereotyping or assuming all members of a particular culture share the same financial values and practices. Addressing systemic issues. While culturally responsive strategies can help individuals and communities navigate existing financial systems more effectively, they do not address the underlying systemic issues that create financial disparities. Consequently, it is important to couple these strategies with advocacy for systemic changes. Resource limitation. Developing and implementing cultural responsive programs often requires significant time and resources. This can be challenging for organizations with limited budgets. And lastly, measuring success. Traditional financial success metrics may not fully capture the impact of culturally responsive strategies. Therefore, developing new culturally relevant measures of financial well being may be necessary. Despite these challenges, the potential benefits of culturally responsive financial wellness strategies are significant. By honoring cultural values and experiences, these approaches can create more effective and sustainable path to financial well-being for minority communities. As we move forward, we must remember that cultural responsiveness is not about creating separate financial systems for different cultural groups. Instead, it's about making our existing financial systems and practices more inclusive and effective for all. By integrating cultural wisdom with modern financial knowledge, we can create a more equitable and empowering financial landscape for everyone. Now, our next segment, we'll explore how these culturally responsive strategies can be combined with broader systemic changes to create lasting financial empowerment for minority communities. We will look at the role of policy, education, and community advocacy in shaping a more inclusive financial future. Let's focus on the critical intersection of systemic change and individual action. This brings us then to our third and final main point. How can we navigate systemic barriers while empowering ourselves and our communities? The financial landscape in the United States has long been shaped by systemic inequality that has disproportionately affected minority communities. That's a fact. As discussed in our first episode on generational wealth and healing, these disparities have deep historical roots. However, understanding these systemic challenges is only the first step. Today, we will explore how individuals can succeed within the system while simultaneously working to change it. Let us begin by examining the current state of minority representation in the financial services industry. According to a 2022 report by the US Government Accountability Office, progress in that diversifying the financial sector has been slow. The report analyzed Equal Employment Opportunities Commission data from 2018 to 2020 and found that representation for both minorities and women in senior management positions was relatively flat or only marginally increased during this period. Specifically, Black and Hispanic representation in senior management roles remained at about 3 to 40% respectively. Female representation increased slightly from 31% to 32%. These numbers are particularly striking when we consider that Black individuals constitute 12.4% of the US population and Hispanic individuals make up 18.7%. These statistics highlight the systemic barriers that continue to limit opportunities for minorities in the financial sector. However, they also underscore the immense potential for growth and change. And as we navigate these challenges, it is crucial to adopt a dual approach, developing strategies for individual success within the current system while actively working to transform it. So let us first discuss strategies for success in a financial system not designed for minorities. One powerful tool is financial education. As we emphasized in our first episode, financial literacy is a cornerstone of generational wealth building. For minority individuals, navigating a complex and often biased financial system, this knowledge becomes even more critical. Financial education should go beyond basic budgeting and saving principles. It should include understanding systemic biases in lending practices strategies for negotiating better terms on loans and investment, and knowledge of alternative funding sources that may be more accessible to minority entrepreneurs. For example, community development financial institutions or CDFIs often provide more favorable terms to minority borrowers than traditional banks. Understanding and utilizing these resources can be a game changer for individuals and small business owners in minority communities. Another necessary strategy is networking and mentorship. The Government Accountability Office report that we mentioned earlier highlighted the importance of social networks in the financial industry, particularly in roles that rely on generating business through personal connections. For minority professionals, building these networks can be challenging due to historical segregation and lack of representation in high-level positions. To address this, seek out professional organizations focused on supporting minorities in finance. Groups like the National Association of Black Accountants, the Association of Latino Professionals for America, and the Pan-Asian Leaders Organization provide valuable networking opportunity and mentorship program. Additionally, do not underestimate the power of cross-cultural mentorship. While having mentors who share your background can provide invaluable insights, mentors from different cultural backgrounds can offer perspective on navigating the majority culture of many financial institutions. Now, let us turn our attention to the importance of representation and its power in driving change. As the saying goes, you cannot be what you cannot see. Increasing the visibility of successful minority professionals in finance is fundamental for inspiring the next generation and changing perceptions within the industry. Consider the impact of Robert F. Smith, the founder, chairman, and CEO of Vista Equity Partners. As one of the most successful Black investors in the United States, Smith has not only achieved personal success, but has also used his platform to advocate for greater diversity in finance and to support educational initiatives for minority students. Another inspiring example is Melody Hobson, co-CEO of President of Ariel Investment, one of the largest Black-owned investment firms in the United States. Hobson has been a vocal advocate for financial literacy and diversity in corporate America, serving on the boards of several major corporations and nonprofit organizations. These success stories are not just inspirational, they are transformative. They challenge stereotypes, provide role models for aspiring professionals, and use their influence to create opportunities for others. However, while individual success stories are important, they are not enough to address systemic inequalities. This brings us to the critical role of advocacy and policy change in creating a more equitable financial system. Advocacy can take many forms, from supporting policy initiatives that promote financial inclusion to pushing for greater transparency in hiring and promotion practices within financial institutions. It can also involve supporting community based financial initiatives that serve minority populations. For instance, the support and growth of minority owned banks can play an important role in addressing financial disparity. These institutions often have a better understanding of the unique challenges faced by minority communities and are more likely to approve loans for minority borrowers. As of 2021, there were only 142 minority owned banks in the United States, representing just 2.8% of all banks insured by the FDIC, the Federal Deposit Insurance Corporation. Supporting these institutions through deposits, investments, and advocacy can help strengthen their impact. Policy initiatives that can make a significant difference include strengthening and enforcing fair lending laws, increasing funding for financial education programs in underserved communities, and creating incentives for financial institutions to better serve minority communities. One example of effective policy change is a recent Community Reinvestment Act update. The CRA, or Community Reinvestment Act, originally enacted in 1977, encourages banks to meet the credit needs of all segments of their communities, including low and moderate income neighborhoods. The 2022 update seeks to address changes in the banking industry and strengthen the law's impact on underserved communities. As individuals, we can support these efforts by staying informed about policy proposals, contacting our representative to express support for inclusive financial policies, and participating in local community development initiatives. It is also crucial to recognize that creating change within the financial system requires action from those currently in positions of power. Industry allies can play a significant role by advocating for diverse hiring practices, mentoring minority professionals, and pushing for inclusive policies within their organization. Now, let us discuss the importance of entrepreneurship and business ownership in creating wealth and opportunities within minority communities. As mentioned in our previous episode on breaking cultural barriers, entrepreneurship can be a powerful tool for building generational wealth. However, minority entrepreneurs face significant challenges in accessing capital and resources. According to a 2020 report by the Federal Reserve Bank of Atlanta, Black-owned businesses are twice as likely to be denied credit as white-owned businesses, even when controlling for factors like credit scores and business characteristics. To address this disparity, a multi-pronged approach is necessary. This includes supporting minority-owned businesses as consumers, advocating for fair lending practices, and creating and supporting initiatives that provide capital and resources to minority entrepreneurs. One such initiative is the New Voices Fund created by Richelieu Denis, founder of Sundar Brands. This $100 million fund supports businesses owned by women of color. Initiatives like this provide much needed capital and mentorship and networking opportunities critical for business success. So, as we work on systemic changes, we must remember that progress often happens incrementally. Each step forward, no matter how small, contributes to the larger goal of creating a more equitable financial system. So, I could talk about that all day. I will end this point by saying that navigating the current financial system as a minority individual requires a combination of personal empowerment through education and networking and active participation in efforts to change the system itself. By developing strategies for success within the current framework, while simultaneously working to transform it, we can create lasting change that benefits not just individuals, but entire communities. Remember, as discussed in our first episode on generational wealth and healing, true financial wellness goes beyond individual success. It encompasses the well being of our communities and future generations. So, by taking action on both personal and systemic levels, we can work for a financial future that is truly inclusive and equitable. As we move forward, I encourage each of you to reflect on your role in this journey. Whether you are just starting your financial journey or are in a position to influence policy and practices, your actions matter. Together, we can create a financial system that works for everyone, regardless of race or ethnicity. As we've explored the complex intersection of race, finance, and anxiety, it is clear that the path to financial wellness for minority communities is both challenging and filled with potential. Let's then bring this thread together and reflect on how we can move forward with hope and determination. The renowned civil rights leader Martin Luther King Jr. once said, "The arc of the moral universe is long, but it bends toward justice." This powerful statement reminds us that while the journey to financial equity and mental health parity for minority communities may be long and arduous, progress is possible and indeed inevitable if we continue to strive for it. The strategies we've discussed today, from recognizing and interrupting race based financial anxiety to implementing culturally responsive financial wellness approaches, are steps along this arc for justice. By addressing both individual challenges and systemic barriers, we can create a future where financial success and mental well being are accessible to all, regardless of race or ethnicity. Remember, every step you take concerning your financial goals, every conversation you have about mental health, and every act of support within your community contributes to this broader movement. You are not just building personal wealth, you are part of a larger story of healing, empowerment, and positive change. As we conclude, I encourage you to reflect on your role in this journey. Whether you are just starting your path to financial wellness or you are in a position to influence policies and practices, your actions matter. I said it before and I will continue to say it. Together, we can bend that arc of universe for a more just and equitable financial future for all. As we end this eye-opening discussion on race, finance, and anxiety, I invite you to take the next step in your holistic financial wellness journey. Our conversation today has shed light on the unique challenges minority communities face, but awareness is just the beginning. Now is the time for action. I challenge you to conduct a personal racial stress audit on your financial life. Take a moment to reflect on how racial stresses may be impacting your financial decisions and mental well being. Are there any areas where stereotypes threat is holding you back? Are you carrying the weight of racial tax in your daily financial interactions? To support you in this process, I've created a free resource you can download, the Mental Health and Money Journal Prompts. This simple yet powerful tool will guide you through a series of reflective questions, helping you uncover hidden stressors and develop strategies for resilience. By downloading this journal and committing to regular reflection, you are taking a significant step in breaking the anxiety loop we discussed today. Remember, small actions can lead to meaningful change. I also encourage you to share your experiences and insights on social media using the hashtag Merging Life and Money. Your story could inspire someone else to start their financial and mental wellness journey. Let's create a community of support and empowerment. Together, we can overcome racial financial stresses and build a future of true financial well-being. As we conclude this powerful exploration of race, finance, and anxiety, let's take a moment to reflect on the journey we've shared and look ahead to what's coming. Before signing off, I want to express my heartfelt gratitude to all of you who have joined us on this critical journey of financial empowerment and mental health awareness. Your engagement and your willingness to confront these challenging topics are genuinely inspiring as we look ahead to next week's episodes, our final installment in this July series. We will address the concept of code switching and its financial and mental health implications for minorities. We'll explore how the pressure to adapt to different culture norms and professional settings can impact both financial success and personal well-being. I look forward to continuing this important conversation with you. Remember, your financial journey is unique, but you are not alone in facing these challenges. Together, we can create a future of financial wellness that honors our diverse experiences and promotes mental well-being for all. Until next Thursday, 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, take care of your finances, prioritize your mental health, and continue merging life and money.